Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Monday, the 11th of March. I am wandering around in the cathedral, and it's Sunday evening at about 6:30, and I'm trying to give you a sense of what this place looks like. So you're going to have to see it from what's behind me. One of the gifts of being a priest is being able to be in different sacred spaces, and I have always believed that spaces take on a sense of who's been there and what's happened. Have you ever been in a building, a church or someplace where you walked in and it felt cold? I've often felt like that about hospitals or old nursing homes or asylums and things like that where, people have been there and maybe it hasn't necessarily been a happy place or some sadness happened there. And they've also been in churches and places, schools and other places where you walk in and it's like feeling like you're getting a big hug, that someone has just given you this incredible gift of I'm trying to say if you can get this stained glass window there. Somebody has given you this incredible gift of prayer, a sense that people have loved and laughed there, that they have felt the presence of God and the presence of other people, giving them hope and joy and peace, and just holding them up. Places, churches, and other buildings and homes. This happens a lot in homes. It doesn't necessarily mean, here's a font, the font for the cathedral. These places don't necessarily mean that nothing bad has ever happened. But what happens, I think, was incredible, is that these become places where people who have had bad things happen have been healed, or have had the opportunity for other people to join them and to be present with them, and to help them understand that they are loved. And I really do believe that the walls themselves absorb the feelings we have. Have you ever had that feeling when you've gone someplace like the Grand Canyon or Niagara Falls or someplace where it's not just a grand, magnificent feat of God's that this beautiful thing has been created, but it's also an incredible sense that other people have been here and other feelings of hope and joy have been here. When we allow ourselves to be present and aware of the glory of what we've seen and the presence of other people, the recognition that other people have also been in this place or have felt the emotions that we're feeling, we are given the opportunity to sort of meet them in kind of a liminal space, a place where maybe things are different. Maybe there's more hope. Maybe there's more possibility. I hope you're not getting dizzy. I just wanted to turn around. Places like this Cathedral of St. Matthew's Cathedral in Brandon. Other places I have been, Trinity Church in Mitchell was one of them that just felt like when you walked in, it was a big hug. These places allow us the opportunity to feel connected with people who have gone before us, circumstances and things that have changed but haven't really changed. When we live our lives, when we celebrate the life we've been given, even the tough stuff, even the things that really may feel awkward, the things we might want to skip through and get over faster. When we allow ourselves to be present in those times, we allow ourselves to experience all of the beautiful things that we need to experience. This part is a columbarium. So these are folks whose ashes are here, that are buried in these niches underneath the Titanic windows. Let me step down. There we go. When we allow ourselves to be present in a space or in a location where we listen for the voice of God and we pay attention to those who have gone before us, it allows us a gift of knowing that we are connected, that we have this incredible sense of presence, that we aren't alone. And I think that's really important. I think it's really important for all of us that we understand that we don't do this life thing alone. We have other people with us. And even when we can't see them, even when we can't feel their presence directly, we know that we don't walk alone. Here in this church, knowing that there are probably 100 or so people whose remains are buried in or are in those niches in the columbarium, knowing that there over the years that this parish has been alive, there have been thousands of people who have lived here, have worshipped here, have been baptized or married here, buried here. Music has been played in this place. Celebrations have happened and sorrows have occurred. Over to my right, probably your left there is a plaque that has the names of all the deans. And one of them is a dean who was here during World War I. And I was looking at that on Sunday morning as I was preparing to go in to lead worship in the chapel. And I got me thinking about that dean that was here during World War I. What must he have thought about? How must he have comforted the families of those people those men who were going off to war when they didn't understand what it would be or how long it might be? And I looked at the names of the rest of the deans and each of the eras that they had. Some of them had wonderful occasions of being here. Some of them were marked by strife and difficulties. But that's what life is. And yet this place exists. St. Matthew's Cathedral is and continues to be and will continue to be for a long time forward. Whether it's filled to the rafters with people worshiping here or empty except for me, like right now. This is a place where history has been and the future will be. And people's prayers and their dreams and their sorrows have been absorbed and shared. Comfort has been offered. Challenges have happened. Probably some good knockdown, drag out parish council vestry meetings have been held. And yet the place is still here. And I think it's because of the presence of God and the presence of all those prayers and those people who have called this place home, whether it was for years and years or just for a moment. I think we need to pay close attention to the places where we are and recognize that where we are, wherever we find ourselves, is where we're maybe meant to be in that moment. And what can we learn from it? What can we learn from the people whose, not ghosts, but whose presence has gone before us? The people who have listened for God's voice, as God said to them, sit and stay for a while, or get up and go out through those doors and go into the world to challenge the next new thing in your life. But one thing is in common. Every person who came through these doors, every person whose prayers are still surrounding me now, were all children of God, just like you. And they found their place here for maybe just a moment, or maybe for a while. But they always knew, or hopefully they have always known, that they are surrounded wherever they go by the presence of God. Sometimes we're blessed to have a building like this, where you walk in and you can feel the presence of prayer, the presence of those souls who have gone before us. Sometimes we might feel like we're walking alone with no one around us. But there is truly no place that we walk that someone hasn't walked before. Always remember that. And always remember that even when you feel alone, God is present. And where God is, hope is, and joy and peace. I pray that your walk this day, wherever you find yourself, whatever buildings you are in or not in, I hope that you feel the presence of hope and love around you. And I hope I didn't give you seasickness by wandering around the cathedral with my camera jumping up and down. God bless you, and I'll see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachael.